Heidi was produced by a company called Omnibus Production, and the producers were a man named Fred Braga and the actor Fred Franciscus. And I think that they might have been looking for a writer and maybe consulted my agent, but at any rate, they hired me, and Heidi was a lovely thing to do work with. In the first place, it's a children's classic, but they were visionary enough to say, let's try to enlarge the story so that it will appeal to more than just children, to adults as well. And so I tried to devise mature characters with some depth. And the nurse who is in the book is called Fräulein Rottenmeier, and she's had a name character to go with that. But I softened her and made her a more attractive character. And there's an old grandfather in it, and I gave him some depth. What I did was to give depth to all of the characters. And fortunately, I wrote a good script, and so we were able to attract people like Sir Michael Redgrave, to the father of the Redgrave girls, to do the grandfather. And Blake Edwards' daughter, Jennifer, played Heidi, and we shot it in Switzerland. And this time Fred and Fred Braga and Jim Franciscus were kind enough to allow me to come to Switzerland and help pick out some of the locales. And when you're looking for a locale in the Swiss Alps, it's not difficult. We found an Alp right away. And it was quite successful as a film. I say, and the director was, oh Jesus, he's my good friend. I can't think of his name right now.
Mann?
As Delbert Mann. And Delbert was so supportive that when we got to Switzerland to do the actual film, someone at the network sent some requirements. They sent some notes, and Delbert said, absolutely not, we're not changing a word. And consequently, we were able to do, I think, quite a lovely film. Everybody knows the story of Heidi, and all I did was to take characters who might have been thin and cardboard and give them credibility and depth. And there was an interesting after effect of Heidi, which you probably know. There was a game between the Oakland Raiders and the New York Jets on NBC, and it ran over the hour that it was allotted. In the meantime, Heidi had been assured to start at a certain hour. So the network interrupted the final moments of the Oakland Raiders and the New York Jets game and put Heidi on. So there were, all across the country, there was terribly offended sports fans who did not want to see a little girl in the Swiss Alps. They wanted to see the end of the game. And so they jammed the network, the switchboard at the network, and caused a huge outcry. As a matter of fact, there were so many objections that they've never had that kind of reaction before. But it was all kind of fun, because it was the first time that I felt in competition with a football team, and I won. But that was, I wish they would repeat that version of Heidi, because it really was just lovely. The scenery, you can't beat that scenery. And I did a good job in the script. Delbert did a marvelous job of directing, and the actors were superb. I remember, the actor who was young then, who played Heidi's father, Maximilian Schell. And Maximilian is still around doing wonderful work, too. He has gray hair now, but that's not unusual, is it?
Well, I read that you were paid quite a compliment on that by the quarterback of the New York Jets, who was asked about the controversy and said that he hadn't seen Heidi, but they heard it was quite good.
Oh, was that Joe Namath?
Yes.
Yes, I heard that, too.